Hello, I'm Mark Ells, Barnstable's town manager, and this is my town manager communication for January 3rd through January 16th, 2024. We're proceeding with the budget action calendar for 2025. Of note is that the school committee workshop reviewing the FY 2025 budget instructions and confirming the strategic direction of the proposed school budget for FY 2025 is scheduled for January 24th, 2024. And you can find all of our budget information on the town's website. In response to questions by town council regarding monitoring activities of the Vineyard Wind cable landing at Colville's Beach, I've been in contact with Vineyard Wind and requested regular communication with Barnstable officials and our public regarding such compliance. In addition, I requested informational signage at the site to illustrate location and other project information so that those who visit Colville's Beach may have access to such information. It was a verbal discussion with them, and I'm awaiting their response to what they will provide and how they will provide it. I've attached a letter sent to Ken Kimmel of Commonwealth Wind. Now, that's the proposed cable landing at Dowses Beach. But I'm attaching the letter to Ken Kimmel that requests that Commonwealth Wind cease all activities related to Commonwealth Wind project, as the town does not support this project, and I will keep you advised as this matter progresses. There is an opioid settlement fund workshop scheduled for Tuesday, January 30th, 2024, from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Barnstable High School in the junior-senior cafeteria. High school is located at 744 West Main Street in Hyannis. The town of Barnstable invites you to join a facilitated conversation and share your experiences about how the opioid epidemic has impacted you, your family, and or the community. Barnstable residents affected by opioid use disorder and professionals that serve Barnstable residents are encouraged to attend to assist in the process of identifying priority areas in Barnstable that will help guide future spending of opioid settlement funds. We hope you can attend this important workshop. The town manager serves as the town of Barnstable's representative on the Cape and Islands Water Protection Fund Board. Attached is the Cape and Islands Water Protection Fund Board 2023 annual report. Now, that's attached to my report and will be posted on the town website if anybody wants to go in and take a look at it. The Cape and Islands Trust Fund was established by the Massachusetts legislature in 2018 to help the Cape Cod and Islands towns pay for necessary wastewater infrastructure and water quality remediation projects. The Cape and Islands Water Protection Fund is a dedicated fund within the Mass Clean Water Trust set up to solely benefit communities within the counties of Barnstable, Duke, and Nantucket. Its source of revenue is a 2.75 excise tax on traditional lodging and short-term rentals. The fund is administered by the Clean Water Trust and overseen by a management board comprised of representatives from every town. I am your representative. Since the creation of the fund, revenue has been largely consistent with what we've projected. We've actually brought in a financial consultant to assist us in projecting both revenues and then compiling and projecting expenses. Local commitment to project implementation and eligible project costs have exceeded expectations. The 2023 intended use plan, which is a plan put out by the Department of Environmental Protection, Bureau of Municipal Facilities. It's put out every year that lists all the projects that submit and then which ones might be funded through the state revolving fund. is presenting over $167 million in projects, more than $100 million above the assumed project cost, and the greatest amount that we've ever seen for Cape Cod in a single year. On June 30th, 2023, the Management Board sent a letter to Governor Healy articulating the critical need for additional revenue to the fund to maintain a 25%. It's a principal subsidy. So basically, if you borrow $10 million, $2.5 million would be paid for from this revenue so that you would pay back $7.5 million. It's hypothetical. In December 2023, the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection issued the draft 2024 intended use plan with over $248 million in Cape projects. It never projected that we would be at this level of project request. Shouldn't be surprised, though, that they've changed Title V, and now we're all looking to be compliant with that new state regulation, which once again far exceeds assumed project costs and places additional pressures on the fund beyond those identified in the letter to the governor. We're even seeing next year being higher than this, well above the numbers projected in the initial modeling. The 25% principal subsidy provided by the fund has been a primary driver of a long overdue progress on local wastewater projects. So the certainty of the subsidy has helped garner community support for water quality project implementation and has resulted in significant action. Without significant additional revenues to the fund, the Water Management Board will be forced to limit subsidies for critically needed wastewater and water quality projects. So basically, it'll go from 25% to 12%. That's what we're projecting at this point. We'll continue to communicate with both our governor and lieutenant governor and our Cape delegation in trying to garner this additional funding to provide principal subsidies to these critical wastewater projects. The town of Barnstable invites local civic associations and nonprofits to apply for a 2024 tourism mini grant. The tourism mini grant program is designed to support the town's 7 villages in promoting new and existing events and festivals to draw visitors to the town of Barnstable. All civic associations and nonprofit organizations within the town of Barnstable that produce and market events to visitors and/or provide visitor services are eligible to apply. Events that promote off-season visitation are encouraged. Grants are available up to a maximum of $1,000 per applicant and require 1-to-1 matching funds. A total of $9,000 is available in funding for the mini grant program, which is funded through a portion of the town's rooms tax revenue. Applications must be submitted online on or before 11:59 p.m. Thursday, February 29th, 2024. Applications are available through a link in the town manager's report or on the Business Barnstable website under grant opportunities. The town of Barnstable invites you to an open house to discuss future plans for the Barnstable Adult Community Center property on Thursday, February 1st from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Barnstable Adult Community Center. We're developing a master plan that will explore the potential for housing development, outdoor recreation opportunities, and connections with the adjoining public school property. Please join us at this kickoff meeting to share ideas, enjoy refreshments, and discuss the future of the Adult Community Center property. And more information can be found on the Planning and Development website under current projects. The proposed dog control regulations were presented at a town manager hearing on October 18th, 2023. Public comment for the proposed regulations occurred from October 18th through December 8th, 2023. There were 83 comments, negative and positive, received. The two proposed regulations with the most comments were on the dates for which dogs can be on the beach and kennel and multiple dog regulations. In response to comments, the following changes were made. Revert back to the May 15th through September 15th dog ban on designated bathing beaches. Add a clause that allows the town officials to close sections of beaches to dogs for endangered species protection. Work with representatives of the American Kennel Club to better clarify kennel and multiple dog definitions. The second draft of the proposed dog control regulations was posted for 10 additional days from January 4th through January 15th. An email with the link to the second draft was sent to all 83 residents that had made comments regarding the first draft. Most of the feedback that staff received regarding the second draft was positive. The town manager plans to approve the second draft of the dog regulation shortly. I should say I plan to approve it, which will then be distributed to the public online and when dog licenses are purchased. And finally, that concludes my town manager communication, but you'll be hearing from Kelly Colopy, Communications Manager for Public Works Department, and she'll be providing an update on water resource management planning, including our comprehensive wastewater management plan. Thank you.
Hello, Kelly Colby from the Department of Public Works, and I will be walking you through our water resources management update. First, we will take a look at our currently under construction Route 28 East sewer expansion project. As a reminder, this is a foundational piece of infrastructure for our CWMP. It's ultimately where the majority of our wastewater is going to flow, specifically through that Finney's Lane pump station. We continue to operate with two crews. Crew number 1 is still located on Finney's Lane from about Great Marsh Road to Waquaket Lane. And then crew 2 is anticipated to transition to West Main Street in late January. And this will be that small portion of work that remains from about Route 28 to Strawberry Hill Road. On the next slide, we'll look at, or actually 2 slides from now, we'll look at a map that shows you specifically where those locations are and where those crews are advancing. We do anticipate construction for this project to be complete this coming spring, 2024, which would allow for sewer connections to be available as early as the fall of 2024. Regarding the Finney's Lane pump station, building construction continues. Electrical work is still in progress, and we also anticipate this portion of the project to be completed this coming spring. So on this slide, previously we have looked at the exterior of the building. If you remember from our last water resources management update, you got to really see the shape of the building coming to fruition, that very Cape Cod cottage aesthetic. So this update, we wanted to show you a little bit of what's going on sort of behind the scenes. So this first photo on the left-hand portion of your screen is actually the sewer main infrastructure that's being installed from, basically outside of the building into the underground and into the roadway. So that's really what's allowing that pump station to connect into the rest of the sewer infrastructure that's being constructed as part of the Route 28 East project. And then the photo to your right is actually inside the building. So our team visited the building recently, just about a week or so ago, and looked at some of the progress happening sort of, again, behind the scenes within the building. And you'll see here some of the pumps that are in place. So a lot of work that continues to progress at the site with anticipated completion this coming spring. And as noted, now we'll take a look at our construction map, which essentially shows you where we are in terms of anticipated and completed construction for the Route 28 East project. Everything in green is completed sewer infrastructure. So you'll see that we've progressed a bit past Elliott Street and that Strawberry Hill Road intersection there on Finney's Lane. And by next week, we'll begin progressing further up Finney's Lane towards that endpoint of Waquaket Lane. And then again, all of the green on 28 being complete, and then just that remaining section there on West Main Street from about Strawberry Hill Road to the intersection of West Main Street and Route 28. And we do anticipate that crew beginning construction there as early as the end of this month, January 29th. Of course, ahead of construction starting on West Main Street, we'll be putting out a public press release as well as notifications to businesses and residents in the area, and we'll continue to keep the council updated on construction progress. Now we'll shift over to the Strawberry Hill Road expansion project. Not much of an update since our last water resources management report. Again, all gravity sewer service laterals and sewer service riser construction is complete. Strawberry Hill Road pump station final testing and startup continues, and we are still looking at anticipated spring 2024 timeframe for first connections for a portion of the project route. We do have our sewer connection handbook in progress. We've taken a lot of the feedback from the previous town council meeting and are incorporating that into our next round of revisions. And we will, look forward to sharing a final handbook soon. And then also just to note restoration. I know we've spoken of this previously, but Vineyard Wind does own the final paving restoration for the entire project route as part of their host community agreement. The majority of the route has been repaved at this point. Just a reminder that this coming spring, when we have favorable paving weather, we will see the final restoration of Waquaket Lane and then Strawberry Hill Road, that small section between Route 28 to Pine Street. Now we're going to take a look at the Centerville Village Sewer Expansion Project. We have a bit of an update here. As you know, this project expedites sewer expansion within the roadways along the proposed Park City Wind onshore duck bank installation route. And as part of our previous water resources management update, we did note that we were making contingency plans based off of Park City Wind scheduling. We have a new business item on the agenda tonight at Town Council, item number 2024-093, which will be a first read for the proposed northern phase. Essentially what we are doing here is if you look at the left-hand image here, this is our original project scope. So running all the way from about that Craigville Beach Covels area up Centerville Main Street, or Main Street Centerville, I should say, the Mothers Park pump station area and Mothers Park Road, and then up Shoot Flying Hill Road to complete the project route. We are continuing to design both a north and south option, but knowing Park City Wind's construction schedule and some of the delays, we are going to be proposing this northern option, or what we're calling our northern phase. This will include everything that you see here in the second image on the right, outlined in red, which is essentially everything from about the Mothers Park pump station section there, some of Route 28 West project, and then completing that Shoot Flying Hill and following the project north. So as I noted, this northern phase option does include Mothers Park pump station and a portion of Route 28 West. Route 28 West project. And really why we are proposing this separate northern segment is so that we can advance this portion of the work, which does not require us to as closely coordinate with Park City Wind. And ultimately that comes down to maximizing our SRF funding and associated principal subsidies, which are made available through the Cape and Islands Water Protection Fund. Above, we note that we are working hard to secure our SRF state revolving fund funds, and that requires a construction contract to be in place by this summer. Without having this sort of northern option in place and allowing us to advance the northern portion of the work, we likely wouldn't be able to hit that deadline. So it really comes down to allowing us to continue to progress this much needed work and also maximize the funding and principal subsidy that are available to us. Again, that will be discussed in more detail as part of new business 2024-093. Additional sewer projects in design. The most notable update here would be our Route 28 West project. That is the project in red, pretty central on that map here to your left-hand side. The Route 28 West sewer expansion project was actually the third ranked project in the 2024 Draft Clean Water Fund intended use plan. Very exciting for us to see that project being recognized. We continue to work through preliminary design, and we do anticipate construction to begin in 2025. As part of that process, we have submitted our MassDOT permit application. We continue to advance design for the Finney's Lane Neighborhoods project as well. That's the project in that sort of light blue color that will build off of the sewer infrastructure that was constructed as part of the Strawberry Hill Road project and allow for that expansion into the Finney's Lane neighborhoods, or the neighborhoods, I should say, on the east and west of Finney's Lane. And as we work through that design, we continue private roadway utility easement takings and siting of sewer pump stations, with construction anticipated to begin in 2026. Nothing really to update on in regards to Great Marsh Road, Long Pond area, Long Beach Road, the Old Yarmouth Road, or the Old Craigville Road projects. Most of those continue to just progress through survey or preliminary design with their anticipated construction timeframes listed for each project. Now we'll take a look at the water pollution control facility. Our solids processing facility upgrades are very close to completion. We are still looking at a substantial project completion next month, February of 2024. And most recently, the chemical containment room construction has been complete. We continue to have some painting and automation and miscellaneous finish work to help us close out that project. We also have the 720 Main Street Pump Station Replacement Project, which continues to advance. Mobilization and site work efforts have already begun, and we anticipate a lot of the more impactful construction to begin in February. Previously, we reported that we anticipated the driving of sheets and the excavation support to begin in January. We have a slight delay, so we're looking at a February start time for that. And then our in-road work is anticipated to begin in February as well. We have conducted initial resident and business outreach, and we continue to do so, specifically working with key stakeholders in the area as we firm up our traffic management plans and construction sequencing. Looking at the nitrogen removal and headworks improvements program, another very exciting note here that this project was ranked #1 on the 2024 Draft Clean Water Fund intended use plan. So again, really showing the prominence and importance of that project as part of the IUP process. We have received our basis of design report since our last report here to Town Council, and we will be moving into final design. The bid for pre-selection of the MBR technology is due January 31st, so the end of this month. And really the importance of that step is that once we have selected an MBR, we then can move into that final design. Essentially, you design the project based off of the MBR vendor that you're working with. So that's a great step for us in terms of progressing with the project and hitting that anticipated fall 2025 start time for construction. And then in terms of our effluent disposal evaluation project, we continue to analyze water reuse and disposal alternatives with our consultant, CDM Smith, and we have been hosting monthly meetings with Mass DEP to discuss this project and these issues further. Last, we will take a look at water quality. We have a number of water quality projects that are in play right now, many that are advancing nicely through various stages of design and planning. The first that we will update you on is the APCC, Association to Preserve Cape Cod's Boat Ramp Stormwater Improvement Project, specifically at Shubal Pond. Since our last report, we are moving towards a 25% design plan, which is in progress, and we still anticipate a public participation meeting sometime this coming spring 2024. Additionally, the Clamshell Cove Road Stormwater Improvement Project continues to advance. Since our last report, we have completed the existing conditions survey, and we have a kickoff meeting scheduled January 23rd of this year, 2024. So just about a week or so away. In conjunction with that, the Old Shore Road Cotuit Stormwater Improvement Project. This is another project, stormwater improvement project, in partnership with the Natural Resources Conservation Service, NRCS. We have a consultant contracted to help develop plans for improvements along the boat ramp. And this project will actually be completed in conjunction with the aforementioned Clamshell Cove Road Stormwater Improvement Project. So a lot of great work being done in terms of stormwater management and working specifically with our boat ramps. We will continue to keep the council updated as those projects move through their preliminary design and planning. That concludes our water resources management update. Thank you.